Parshas Truma Shiur number 1. L'zeich Nishmas Avimari, Yichil Nsiim Ber Reb Dov, and Imi Merasi, Mendel Bas Rabbi Yisrael. It's a very, very Yisaidistic, a life-altering concept. We're talking about a Mishkan. V'shachanti b'soicham, and it doesn't say V'shachanti b'soichai, and I will dwell in the Mishkan. It says b'soicham, in you. And we learn out b'soich kol echad ve'echad, that Hashem is going to dwell in each of us. So the Mishkan is to bring down the Shekhinah, but the purpose of the Mishkan is that Hashem should be in our lives. We shouldn't go through life without Hashem inside of our lives. And a lot of what we do, it feels like Hashem is not there, and we're going to learn what does that mean, how do we build a place that Hashem can dwell with us. In the Sefer HaKodesh, Toldos Yaakov Yosef, which is the main Talmud of the Baal Shem Tov, he brings down the Divrei Alshich HaKodesh, the words, the holy words of the Alshich, of the holy Alshich, Shetargem mitzvahs netzlu me'atzmusa yizbarach, that the 613 mitzvahs come from the atzmus, the essence of God. Just like Hashem is eternal, just like Hashem is eternal, all the 613 mitzvahs are eternal. Even though you look at some of them and you say, no, that was only the time of the Beis HaMikdash, it was only the time in the Midbar. No, if it's coming from Hashem, it's a piece of Hashem, and that has eternity, and therefore it's infinite, and therefore we have to figure out how does it pertain to us in our day. There's nothing that was given to us as a tzivui, as a mitzvah, which is separate. I'll give you a mashal, a simple mashal. If somebody is going to teach you how to bake, every ingredient is going to be necessary to be part of that. Let's say you're baking a cake, you're baking a challah, whatever it is that you like to bake. Over here, the person who's giving the instructions, why did Hashem give us the tzivui? Tzivui is a lashon of tzivsa, of connection. Hashem taught us, human beings, that by doing and following these things, we can connect to Him. So it's amazing, because how can we, puny human being, connect to Hashem? Hashem is infinite, and we are little like ants. How can an ant connect to the President of the United States? And multiply that by a bazillion, a gajillion. Hashem is eternal. Hashem is forever. He's almighty. How can we connect to Hashem? But Hashem wanted us to be down here in this world and yet to be able to connect to Him. So He gave us ways to connect to Him. Now, on a superficial level, He could have told us anything. He could have said, listen, I want you to take a cherry and put it on your nose, and when you do that, I will appreciate that you listened to me. Nasa Ritzaini, you did my Ratzain, and you'll get schar for that. That's a superficial thing, that He just made stuff up in order for us to do something because He told us to do it. And when you do something because He told you to do it, that shows that you want to be connected to Him, and that is the connection to Him, and that's true. If you want to be connected to somebody, you could tell them, listen, there's 3 feet of snow, do me a favor, it would mean a lot to me if you shovel my driveway. And the guy goes ahead and he shovels your driveway because you asked him, so that connects you. And you'll pay him. You'll be connected to him, or you'll reward him, or he'll be close to you. Why? Because you had a need, and you told him, do this thing, and he did it for you, shows that he cares about fulfilling your need, and he did it. And that applies even if you don't have a need. Let's say you don't need your summer home to be shoveled at all, but you want him to be able to do something to prove that he wants to be close to you. So you tell him, do me a favor, go up there and shovel my driveway in my home, and you don't even need it. And he does it. You're still connected. Because when you do something that somebody else tells you to do, you become connected. So on that superficial level, the mitzvahs don't have to be anything important, because it's just things that Hashem made up for a human to do. And when we do them, yes, we're saying, I don't know why or what shaking a lulav is, but I'm going to do it. And that's what we say, Asher kedeshanu b'mitzvaysav v'tzivanu. You commanded us to do it, and we're doing it. And by doing your command, that is what connects us. However, says the Alshich, it's deeper than that. Because the things that Hashem told us to do are not just random things. They are things that are holy and eternal and infinite, and that's why we had to do it. So shaking a lulav is not just the first way that we looked at it, which is fine, that Hashem said, shake this, so I'm shaking it, and I'm doing your ratzon. He picked that for a reason. It's a manifestation in this world of something in the higher Olamus, which it means totally something else. It's a very beautiful understanding of this. The Nesivas Shalom says that really, when Moshe Rabbeinu came to get the Torah, the angel said, what shaykhis do you little puny humans down there, imagine going in a spaceship, and you're on the moon, and now you look at the earth. And in the earth, there's a city. And in the city, there's a car. And in the car, there's you. And you little tiny puny, you're going to go ahead and have the Torah to connect to Hashem? And Moshe Rabbeinu said, yeah, but listen, look at what it says in the Torah. It says in the Torah to sit in a sukkah. You can't sit. It says to all these halachas, these are for humans. They're not for you. So what was the question and what was the answer? So the Nesivas Shalom, the Sfarim HaKadoshim explain that the Torah that they have and the Torah that we have is the same Torah, but with all different principles. Because it's the Teichen of the Torah, it's the Pnimius of the Torah. So it comes down here, as it goes down from Shemayim to Aretz, it gets changed so that way by the time it comes to us, it's telling me, it's spoon-feeding me, that I have to make an Asher Yatzar. The angel doesn't make an Asher Yatzar, but the angel does what the same bracha of Asher Yatzar does through its own in the upper realms. It's not just a book, it's not Harry Potter. So there are so many realms of this that the Torah accomplishes on different levels. So when you go ahead and you do something as a human being, you're doing an avodah, service to Hashem, that angels also do that same service to Hashem, but not through the action that's down here. They're doing it on a very high, not physical action. Make sense? Of course it makes sense. It just takes time for us to imagine that we're not the whole world and we're just little ants. But yes, when we do the mitzvah, it is the greatest service in the world. Nesivas Shalom brings down, Keser Yitnu L'cha Hashem Elokeinu. The crown of Hashem, the glory, the crown is presented, is given to Hashem Elokeinu. By whom? Malachim Hamoinei Mala, the angels that are up in heaven. Im Amcha Yisrael, together with the nation of Yisrael that we also do Ratzon Hashem. Kivutze Mata, we're gathered down here. And one of the Rebbes that he brings down said, Kivutze Mata, 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 Mata. Even way, way down. We are very, very, very far down. So the glory of Hashem is done by the angels who are serving Hashem on their level. And when we down here serve Hashem, we are also glorifying and giving Hashem a keser, and we supplement the keser. Without us, without our avodah, the king's crown is missing parts. So now, according to this idea that each tzivui that Hashem, every mitzvah, every command, every part of the Torah that Hashem gave us, is doing something to connect to Him, with a capital H, to His infiniteness, awesomeness, almightiness, and it's forever and it's eternal. So then we have a lot of questions. We have the first question. We should make a mikdash. What does it have to do with us today? What does this have to do? It wasn't noyeg l'dairis. It was only for them in that dar that they made a mishkan in the midbar. What does it have to do with you and me today? It it's not just when it was destroyed, we don't have a Beis HaMikdash anymore, but even when it existed, building the Beis HaMikdash only happened one time, or happened more than once, happened 3 times, Mishkan and 2 Beis HaMikdash. But the tzivui to build a Mishkan was only the first time they built a Mishkan, when they built the first Beis HaMikdash and the second Beis HaMikdash. Even when after that, 100 years later, 50 years later, 20 years later, there was no tzivui. So what is the nitzchias, what is the eternal mitzvah that is noyeg, that we have in our generation of building a mishkan, b'shechanti b'soichem, in order that Hashem should dwell within us? The Talmudus Yaakov Yosef, the main central Talmud of the Baal Shem Tov, known as the Talmudus, he explains, shemitzvah zu shel va'asu li mikdash, koi al kol adam shu olam katan b'fnei atzmai. He explains it that every person is a little world. We are all little worlds. Just like there's a big world and Hashem wanted to have a mishkan in that world, But Hashem was teaching us, we are all little worlds. And in our world, we have a command, a current command that's happening now. V'asu li mikdash v'shachanti b'soicham. V'hu mitzvah tzatzivoy, a command, la'sois b'kirboy, mikdash la'Hashem, she'b'soich gufoy, yeh ma'oin la'shchina. Hashem is saying, I want to dwell down on earth. I want to dwell inside of you. I want to be a part of your life. And that's a command for us, that even though we can live our whole life the same as a guy, because we have to go to work, and we have to pay our bills, and we have to go to school, and we have to get dressed, and we have to go shopping, and we have to eat. All those things is life. That's the life of a human. Hashem is saying, I want you to inject in that mundane, materialistic life that is not that different than a regular animal, except sometimes we look a little bit nicer. On the other hand, sometimes we just dress up with the clothing, the skin of the animals, so we just actually look like them. So between the leather shoes, the crocodile, the alligators, and the fur and the cow purse, and the sheepskin. So anyway, bottom line is that either we look better than them or we try to look like them, but that's a very animalistic life. And Hashem is saying, I want something from you. What do you want? I want you, yes, that little ant, that puny little human who's living that materialistic life, to allow me into your life. That you should be a place where the Shekhinah can dwell. Like it says in the Alshich, B'shachanti b'soicham, b'soichoi loy nemar, elu b'soicham. It doesn't say, build a Mishkan and I will stay in the Mishkan. No, build a Mishkan so I can go inside, b'soich kol echad ve'echad, that I can dwell, I want to be a part of your life. So now we have it. The tzivui, as everything we have in the Torah, we look at it sometimes as a story. Avram went here, Sarah, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Esav. It's not. The Torah is a lashon of Meira. It's teaching us how to live our life.